Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good day today. This is Marcus John Beltran, and I am your host here. And I am accompanied here by the always lovely Emily, my lovely co-host here.
Hello.
Welcome to our podcast. This is our debut program show. We've been trying to get out for a little bit now, and I know that's been advertised on our site, lightennial.com, and we're excited to have you guys here. So
very excited.
Thank you for being patient with us. Just know that this is we're just kind of a little bit new to this, so there's going to be some little hiccups here and there and growing pains, but we're excited to have you through this journey through it all as we get better and better. So, with that said, so we're excited to have you here with us, and hopefully you have to at least we'll bring some kind of a light into your day, and if anything, just to try to be a little bit of a bright light through these trying times we're all going through. So I think first things first, people are going to want to know, who are you? That's a good question, because I'm still asking myself who I am. Because sometimes I do some things in life that I feel like, what the beep did I just do? Is that really me? What is this guy even thinking? I think we all can share those feelings, and this is about being real. At the same time, being positive and uplifting in the end, with inspiration to encourage everyone. You're not alone. We are with you. So, with that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the introductions of who I am. I am Marcus John Beltran, as stated earlier, and I was born in 29 Palms, California, on the Marine Corps base. Hoorah! To all the Marine Corps and servicemen and women out there, thank you guys for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, absolutely. So I was born on, fun fact, I was born on the Marine Corps base there, of course. And with my daddy, he was a staff sergeant, served military for many years, and I was actually the biggest baby on the base. I was huge, over 10 pounds.
Damn, son!
And because I was, that it just comes down to being called easily, just what my dad is, the Little Sarge, and they dubbed me Little Sarge. So, with that being said, I'm Little Sarge, and just even now they call me, that, and it's kind of funny. So, anyways, that's that, and I'm a father of 5. I'm an inspirationalist, an influencer, an author,
yes,
or an entrepreneur, if you will.
are.
I am also a member of the Alliance of Independent Authors and Frankfurt Rights. International, or formerly International Rights, and I'm also a servant of Jesus Christ, who is my Lord and Savior, first and foremost.
Amen.
So yes, that is pretty much me in a nutshell. And at this time, Emily, what are you doing here? And who are you?
That is a good question. My name is Emily Ann. I was born in Arizona. I am the youngest of 4. And I myself, I am an artist.
We don't
I
make
have
mistakes.
been painting and drawing since
We
the
have
age
happy
of 6.
accidents.
Awesome painter, by the way.
Thank you.
Artiste.
Thank you. Although I am
Great artist.
talented in that, I
Yes.
guess. I'm very shy about showing my art to anybody. I usually have it in the closet or in my office, just hanging for my own private viewing, and just, I don't know. But Marcus is
definitely robbing people of her gifts and talents.
Thank you.
And she needs to get that out more. But it's a work in
It's
progress.
a work in progress. Marcus has been very supportive in helping me get over my
You selfish
fear.
hussy. I'm just kidding. No.
It's true. Just kidding. But yeah, and then
Yeah, she needs. She definitely is. Has a lot to give, and I know that she's in the process of giving that out.
on
And
it.
guys, that's going to be a lot to come, and it's going to be available soon as well on lightennial.com. So, as
Very
well as our
excited.
other merch and
And-
products.
Yeah, and I'm a positive thinker.
Yeah.
I believe in building up my audience, anybody I encounter,
Absolutely. Yeah.
just going into any conversation or any kind of meeting and greeting people with a
Yeah.
positive mindset and with love and building them up. I want everybody who meets me to feel better than what they came, you know.
Yes. That's exactly my goal and our heart's desire
Yeah.
is that for sure.
Yeah, and with that being said, I myself have gone through quite a bit. Then
Yeah.
my most recent is I have had a major life shift, which is
Yeah.
losing a whole lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I will
Absolutely.
be vlogging on that and giving updates on that as I go.
Yeah.
Um Believe it or not, I used to be a YouTube mukbanger, gaining weight while I was eating and
Yes.
everything, and just it wasn't good for me myself. But I was inspired by my sister-in-law to actually try it out. And
Mukbang? What is
yeah,
that? So
mukbang.
I didn't even know what that was. I
It's
mean,
that,
what is
like,
it? Is that a thing? But
I think it comes from Korea. Mukbang. I'm not sure if I'm saying it mukbang.
Mukbang.
yeah,
Mukbang.
mukbang, mukbang,
I think it's
ASMR,
mukbang,
all that stuff.
and
Yep.
some people do it ASMR without
hmm
any talking, and then some people do it with talking.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. That's a
my sister-in-law actually does it. Her channel on YouTube is Sauce Queen,
yep.
and
She
my
sure
mother-in-law
does.
does it as well, Mama Sauce.
Yep.
Um,
And I got it. We're a family of mukbangers, I guess. Which I even, like I said, I didn't even know that was a thing until, but apparently it is, and people love it. And actually, I started watching it, and it's like, well, this is interesting. But I know some people have frowned upon it, like this is not for me. But yeah, but my sister is Kristen is actually Sauce Queen, and I am excited for her amazing journey through her YouTube channel and platform. She's actually one of the a very popular actually mukbangers, if you will, at on YouTube. Sauce Queen, of course. My mother
I
is
think
also
it's
Mama Sauce.
mukbang. I think it's
Mukbang or
mukbang.
mukbang?
I don't
Is
think
it
it's mukbang. I think it's mukbang.
mukbang? Okay,
Yeah,
a
we
mukbang.
have
I've
to
been
think
saying
of
it
it in
wrong.
the way of like
Heck, I
Like
don't
how
know.
Koreans would say it. I don't
Okay.
think they'd say bang, mukbang.
Yeah.
I think it's mukbang. I don't know. I
Nice.
don't know anything.
So yeah, who is ever involved in
Yeah.
that or likes that? Go check
Yeah, check
my
out
sister
Sauce
out, Sauce
Queen.
Queen at
2 words,
YouTube,
Mama Sauce.
Mama Sauce, and also my cousin does it as well, Frankie Panky. So she's also a mukbanger. So I got a family of of, of mukbangers. I say it right, Em? Did I say it right?
Mukbang.
Mukbang.
I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just assuming that's what it is. I hope we don't offend anybody by our mispronunciation.
Yes, absolutely.
Please feel free to direct us in the correct direction
But
if
also
we are
got
wrong.
exactly. So I was gonna say is I gotta be careful watching them. I love watching them, but it does make you hungry. So just
So,
give you a heads up.
and to kind of touch a little bit more on those shout outs,
Mhm.
with Sauce Queen, she has some amazing stories that you
Oh
can go
yes,
and check out.
Always say
And
your prayers.
absolutely. Yeah, she absolutely does. And
Some fun story times and family times that you can follow. It's quite entertaining.
yep.
And then with Mama Sauce, she gives you some recipes and she'll give you some good story
Oh,
times,
yeah.
some uplifting story times. And as well with Frankie Panky, she actually travels the United States, so she might
She's
have
all
some,
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's everywhere. She might. I personally haven't had a chance to check out Frankie Panky, and we want to, or I want to. I know Marcus has watched it.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
so has
so
everybody
good.
else. I personally haven't had a chance between work, podcasting, painting, and all the other things I get myself into.
So it's a lot. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, with that said, I know a lot of people want to know how me and you have met, and so
Oh.
yeah, and that's
Oh.
very important. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys, it was funny how I believe everything.
How the
I
cards
believe.
played out on that. That was really
Yeah,
amazing.
it's pretty cool how the
how
Lord
that
works everything
happened.
out because I truly believe that everything is in line and place in our paths in this journey of life for a reason, and it's not a coincidence that we run into each other and I think that, it's amazing once you come to realization or realize that a lot of times things in life we think, well, oh my gosh, it is absolutely questioning it, and you're frowning, you're upset about it. You don't know why you experience these certain things in life, but then later on down the road, you're like, this I know why I went through that. This makes sense now. But in short, really, I just met Emily, and I was working for a a financial institution, and she was there, and the Lord kind of just, we just kind of crossed paths, and we just shared our hearts, and it kind of just went, kind of went from there, and the rest is kind of history. So
We were actually
it's a long
quite
time
drawn
ago.
to each other from the moment that
It was kind of,
we encountered each other at work. Um,
yeah,
Marcus he had been there years before me, and I had just started, came out of training, and well,
yeah,
I don't know what it was. His voice absolutely drew me to him from
yeah.
across the distance. You could hear him, um, on the telephone. You could hear him, and I don't know. I remember asking one of our coworkers, Mister Bwah Bwah Bwah. If you
Womp,
know, then you
womp,
know. But
womp.
that
That's
he
funny.
was able to direct me on who that was. I'm like, well, he really good voice. I love his voice.
No, thank you.
And
You're
he
just saying that because it's true. I'm just kidding. No,
and
I'm totally kidding.
apparently, I had asked Marcus Marcus, what was the very first thing that you noticed about me when I walked into that building?
So it was
What was
this.
it?
Uh, it was it was something to where I
That you
don't.
noticed, like, always, obviously it's gonna be a almost fell off my chair.
Jeez, we almost got an accident here and
How do you
here.
fall while sitting? That's hilarious. Only me. But what was the very first thing that you noticed? Obviously there's going to be physical attributes
Yeah.
as humans. We're going to see that
Well, I think the main thing
more
that
visual.
drew me to you was your spirit. You just had a really
Yeah.
vibrant, bubbly spirit, and you were just and it was just a sense of the Lord in you. I don't know how else to put it. It was just awesome, and our spirits connected, and it was pretty neat, how that came to be.
Yeah.
So, and then
He really
I
was a
think
guiding light. There was such a dark time during that period for me.
it was,
He was such a guiding light, and during that time we were both going through very difficult life changes,
hmm
and moreover, we had started off as really good friends. Like there
yeah.
wasn't much like romantic interest at that point, but
No,
we
it
were
was just
very supportive of each other and just listening to each other.
yeah,
He was new to Arizona and I had been there, but with me having had almost lost everything, it was just
yeah,
I felt like I didn't have anybody to turn to, and he didn't have anybody to turn to during
yeah.
that time, and it
It
was
was
really nice to have some sort of support. And as we began to like
yeah.
recognize each other and everything,
The Lord used us, each one of us, to help each other
it
through
was like we
those
had
difficult
always
times. Yeah,
known each other. That and even when I met his entire family and moved in, usually people go through like this buffering stage to get used to everybody. No,
yeah,
it was as if I were home. It was quite an experience, and I don't think I'll ever feel that way with anybody else
yeah.
ever.
Absolutely.
I still feel to this day this is family, this is home, this is my comfort
Yeah,
forever.
yeah. I agree, 100% on that because, but that's truly why I believe that everything we journey and we run into through
Yeah.
our journeys is for a reason, and so the
Yeah.
rest is history. So
Yeah, it really
here we
is.
are today.
Here we are.
So with that said, I think a lot of people are going to be questioning and ask, well, next is, since this is a debut show of introductions, if you will, who we are is Lytennial. Who
And
is Lytennial and what is
what is
Lytennial? What
Lytennial?
is it?
What is
That's a funny
Lytennial?
word, right? I know. Well, Lytennial,
Why don't we break down
yeah,
Lytennial?
let's do
Break it
that.
down.
I agree. So Lytennial, well, Lytennial, that word in itself derives from my debut book, actually, Embaixador, which is
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But in that book, there it is actually a one of the factions, if you groups, if you will, and then in the angelic. It is super is spiritual and supernatural, of course. My book there, so it is deriving from one of the faction groups there of Lightennial. Or actually, it's actually Lightennials in the book, but and that's where Lightennial in itself came from in the platform here now. So, but the purpose of Lightennial, of course, is to inspire, to uplift, to build. Like I said, mentioned earlier, not just to remind you of the talents and gifts externally, but also we want to awaken and remind everyone of the spiritual light and divinity within all of you. So that is very important, and so that's pretty much where
Yeah,
Latino
because
comes
there
from.
is a light inside of each and every
Yeah,
one of you,
absolutely, there
and
sure
it's
is.
very important that you tap in, no matter which way you do it,
Hmm.
as long as you tap into that light and begin to resonate it from out
Yes.
inwards out. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, absolutely. Resonate outwards, and just it's well, it just resonates in you, and then of course that's going to be
Well, right, but as the light
yeah,
grows more, it's going to
it's going
shine
to
out,
yep, ex, um, it's going to illuminate, if you will,
illuminate.
shine, or it's going to be felt, seen in many different ways, and that's kind of what we.
Yeah,
That's our goal is
like
to
a
really,
lighthouse
yeah.
or a beacon.
There
You
you
can be
go.
somebody's beacon.
Yes.
But
And
anyways,
yeah, so that's that, and that kind of gives you an idea of what Lightennial is. So, but
so what
anyways,
is
so now that derives from where we're at here in our show.
yeah, what's
VitW,
and what is ViTW?
VitW is Voice in the Wilderness. How about that? So I know people are
Yes.
like, what is that? That sounds
What
familiar.
is
Others may
that?
say, but Voice in the Wilderness, as you know, is like well as a wilderness. So what is a wilderness? It's an unknown place. It's like it's a almost like a just a mysterious, just a emptiness a little bit. You're maybe not in your comfort zone or home, if you will. And for those of you who know, that sounds familiar because yes, it is biblical, of course. Voice in the wilderness is somewhere at the time in the story of the Gospels with John. It's obviously but a bunch of the Gospels there, but mainly in our brother John, where he was in the wilderness walking alone, and he was approached by a lot of people, and they asked him, yeah, who are you? Who are you? What are you doing here? Who are you? And he replied, I love his answer. His answer was simply,
I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness.
and so that just rang with me very hard. It hit me because that's what we are today. We are all kind of in this, you know, trying times today, going through a hard time, a lot of trials, tribulations, and hardships internally and externally, and we sometimes do feel we're in the wilderness. We're just out there. And in this wilderness, there's a lot of negative. I don't know about you, Emily, but I've encountered a lot of negative
As of late, there's been a ton of
in
negativeness, like
in
a
every way,
lot,
right?
and not just with what's going on around the world and
Yeah.
the dramas that we encounter outside of our own selves, but internally, there's um
Yeah.
a lot of negativity just kind of floating around, and we're easily influenced by that too.
Yes, we are.
Like, for instance, my honey and I, we go to Walmart in the perfect mood and then come back in a horrible mood, because a lot of people in a setting like that are feeding off each other, and we sometimes
Yeah.
end up feeding on or like absorbing that, and we
Yeah.
take it with us, and we just have to breathe and let it out.
It's part of everyone is on different. It's just true. I mean, everyone's on different frequencies, if you will. Everyone's on different, mindsets, beliefs, opinions, views, whether it be political driven or whether it be faith driven. But whatever it is, everyone is bouncing off each other in a form, in a sense, and it's very easy. That negative is very contagious, and that's why we have to try to try to diffuse it and the best you can. And it really starts within that, and it's to tapping into that, the positive spiritual side, if you will. And it's hard. I get it. It's hard because sometimes I'm just like, I am easily rattled as well. With everything else on top of it, financial woes, worries, and struggles, all in this wilderness, all around us, it can be depressing a little bit, all the fighting, being divided, and of course the news and stuff and media. You hear a lot of all this negative. It can get to you and wear you down. But that's why that sometimes in this world, it's we need to hear a different kind of voice, a different kind of encouragement, uplifting, and I think that's really where Voice in the Wilderness is going to come to play.
I think so too.
And that's where
Yeah.
hopefully you guys will find that as
Hopefully.
spiritual and encouraging and uplifting in your hard times throughout the day.
And I just want to kind of intervene there. Take it as it resonates with you. Take the message as you'd like to take it. You're not obligated to feel the way that we feel about things or see the way that we think, like see how we see things. Just remember to always love and emanate positivity.
Absolutely.
That's really what it's about.
Emily Ann, you nailed it. Positivity is the key, because I really believe that has the greatest impact in especially in today's
Today's world.
And today's challenges. Positive is absolutely key, and being positive, because I think that'll have a lasting effect, a greater effect in the end. So that is 100% true indeed. I think you can apply that in general with anything. But anyways, that's kind of where Voice in the Wilderness is, and who Litennial is, and who we are. So, hello world. We're excited, and
we're here.
And we are here indeed, because we are the Voice in the Wilderness. And you know what? Not just we are, but so are you. You, just by being here, is also tells us you want to be sharing in that. You want to, I'm hoping it resonates in you and it hits you that, yeah, I agree. That's what I feel like I need to be too. More of the voice within, and a positive needs to be heard. And I think it's going to help a lot of people, even those around you, and even your own family. Your families, your children, everything around you. It will make a difference. So, anyways, with that said,
wait. You had mentioned Litennial was coming from something you wrote. Is this?
Yeah, absolutely. Litennial, I guess a good segue.
Yeah.
Into my debut book. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not only is this our debut podcast, but it is our debut what is it like? We're interview with Mr. Marcus John Beltran, because he is an author. Like, he's officially an author. He's published.
Yep.
And it's the debut of that book. And
so this is another reason why. Yeah, thank you. That's absolutely another thing I'm honored to share with you. My debut book I have just written. It's actually been out for a year or so. I think it's last March when it came out. But and this is I'd like to share about it a little bit with you guys, and I'm excited to debut it here on our debut show. So there you go.
why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Like, what's
absolutely.
it about? How did this book happen? Tell us what is it called? What is this book called?
So that's a good question. So I'd start with that, because a lot of people may hear that name in itself, Embaixador. I know right off the bat, that's like, what the heck is Embaixador? So Embaixador, for those who may not know, which is most of you, is actually a Portuguese word for ambassador. And I am part Portuguese from my grandfather's side, And after hearing it a few times,
On your mom's side. Yeah,
yep,
your
on my mom's
grandfather.
side, my
Yeah.
mom's dad's side.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where the Portuguese side came in. So, of course, I'm being Portuguese. And so after hearing that word a few times, the word Embaixador kind of stuck, which, and I knew right away that was going to be the title, Embaixador, because it's not, when you hear, of course, ambassador, you immediately want to think political, right? Or
Yeah,
at least some
definitely.
fashion. It's like, well, that's actually, this is not a political book by any means. So, well, so since I'm also part Spanish and native like Pan Apache from my father's side, and actually part Irish from my mother's side as well, that pretty much makes me what they call, well,
He's
a
just a
super mixed
Heinz.
mutt, if you will.
You're a
So,
Heinz
or a
57.
Heinz
Yeah.
57, which is funny because I'm kind of a mix. I have a mix of everything in me. So it's kind of like one of the things to where, um, I just kind of, yeah, that's a lot of people are kind of mixed these days. It seems, as far as that's good. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. We're
Different
all
cultures,
intermingling.
different, views, ways of living. That's awesome. So that's kind of where Embaixador came into play, and I hope that answered your questions on that anyway. But and of course,
Yeah, I did.
what
What?
Embaixador is about, in
Yeah.
short, basically, is it's a supernatural. I'm excited to share this with you guys. I am so much because this has been my passion to bring this story since it was from a long time. So, but Embaixador is a supernatural fiction thriller novel about life and struggles most of us share every day. Embaixador is an inspirational message, also of a young man who seemingly has it all. Like the story of Job, right? Has it all, has everything, and
Yeah.
falls into life changing hardships. I'm just gonna tell you a little,
I absolutely love that story, by
a
the
little
way.
more. Yep.
Book of Job.
So the protagonist, for Caleb, in the story, he's kind of like he shares that same kind of wonder most of us, I think, would have. Like, that wonder of that deep, mystique, mysterious question of all time. Like, right? Like, what is really out there in the great unknown? What is it out there? Even further, So that's kind of his question. Like, I think a lot of us share the same kind of question. And although this book is a spiritual book, it does not have a typical soft storyline, if you will. So just give you a heads up out there, guys. So the content is a little, in that respect, it's a little, serious. But this book also does have it all, kind of. So it is very impactful in the form of a lot. So I'm excited here. So what I mean by that is this book kind of really does have it all, or most of it all, I should say. So it has. I mean, if you're interested in, I don't know what if you like suspense and thrills, action and humor, it's got it. It also has some kind of romance and even some erotica. Believe it or not, guys. I know you're like, what? I mean, Emily, do you know? I mean, can you believe a spiritual book will have this kind of stuff in it?
It is quite jaw dropping.
It is, right?
Everything that's in it. I actually have it right here. Here.
That's awesome.
The book.
Yes, she does. She has a copy here. But
yeah.
wait a minute. There's more. I'm not done. There's also, it has a dark side, of course. It has some profanity in it, just to give you a heads up, as well as zombies, horror, witches.
Can we explain this in the best way, that this book is human? That it has a dark side.
It
has
does.
A light side.
I mean, it's got a lot. I mean,
it has the trials and tribulations that humans or
yes,
people
it does.
do.
And you can even, I mean, people are immediately saying it has all that in it, and it is.
The
it
experiences
does.
are very human.
What kind of a book would even have all this mixed content in it? But it is about human life that taps into a spiritual sense, if you will, and through our hardships, that the meaning of life is just that. all of our lives have a meaning, and we are impacting others in many ways. And so I encourage you guys to check it out. It reminds about the gift of life, and it came in really to me when I was at the age of 13. And I don't know if you guys heard about this story of a old Christmas movie that's been out forever called "It's a Wonderful Life." That is actually what inspired me to write this story. Frank Capra's "It's a Wonderful Life," that black and white old movie, right? You know what I mean? Do you like
Yeah.
watch black and white? I was 13 years old when I saw that. My mom told me, said, "Hey, you know, check this movie out." One day on Christmas Eve or something, and I saw it and it was like black and white. And I was like, Mom, I'm not going to watch a black and white movie, of course. So, but I did. A lot of 13-year-olds would probably decline that, respectively. But I did, and I watched it. It changed my life because the purpose of that message behind that whole movie was about how each of our lives impact others, and what would it be like if that your life didn't impact, or if you didn't meet somebody, how would it change their life and their future going forward? And it does. It has a huge impact, and I think that's the whole purpose of it, to remind us we are special, we all have a purpose, and we all are here helping others, and we don't even know it. And that's the whole purpose and message, really. One of the main messages. There's many, but I'm excited for this book because I've been trying to get it out since the age of 13. It doesn't take that long to get a book out, but when you have lives and struggles, literally everyday challenges of work and raising children and doing, it's hard to sit down and write a book. But anyways, I kind of
So
get
at
a little.
13, is that when you realized you wanted to be a writer, or is that when you realized that you needed to get the story of Embaixador out?
So yeah, at 13, I realized that story came to me, and it it instantly hit me. And once I got it out, I knew I was going to be obviously a writer, and I knew I had to get it out right then at 13. And I wanted to incorporate my children in the story, my family, and my children. I wanted to be in this book, which I thought was pretty cool. And I incorporated all, pretty much my nephews, my cousins, my family members, my nieces, my children, which is pretty cool. They're all named in the book, which they're thrilled about it. But I just remember trying to write this book was a challenge because it's hard to write a novel, as you know, or anything you may do. If you have that goal and passion, you can find a way and you can do it. So at 13, Emily, is really when I knew that I was going to be a writer.
Wow, 13. That's really awesome to know that early in life that what you want to do.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
you were saying that
sure.
it took so long because there were a lot of things that played into the consumption of time. Like, you couldn't just focus on writing.
Yeah.
What were some of those things? Like, what was the work schedule? What was family life schedule like? Like, how were you
it
able
was
to
a
balance all
challenge.
of that?
So I just remember trying to write this book out. I've having to shelf it many times. It's very hard to write, or really to focus and put yourself when you're dealing with, like I said earlier, dealing with a lot of challenge around you. But you can strategically do it if you find the time. I tried not hard. I remember my little boy, my 13-year-old boy. He's always asked me, well, even that younger than that, my little one. He's older now, but Dad, how many more years is it gonna be? Was asking me, But I'm saying that because it is very hard, and you have to really find times without. I made it a point not to let it affect my family, my children, and just sit down at night when everyone's in bed and just write. And that's what I did. And this can go for anybody out there, for whatever your goal, whatever your focus is, your vision, your dream. You can achieve it. It is there, and
Just
I
keep
know it
at
sounds
it.
kind of cliche and corny, but it really can happen for everyone who has that passion. Whatever you're doing, in spite of what's going around you, you can accomplish that and reach it. And you just gotta find. You have to tweak things a little bit in life, but it can be done. So, anyways, I'm just excited to share that part with you as far as encouraging you to just do it and follow through because I'm excited I was able to, bring this story to you, to the world in my message in it.
And with it being your very first book,
Mm-hmm.
what's one of the most surprising lessons that you learned while creating this, whether it's through the publishing process, through um having to learn how to balance everything, like what was the most valuable thing that you learned from this entire experience?
So I think that's a good question. I learned that, I think I learned to come to find myself as a writer. I didn't know who I was in this journey writing this story, and I just kind of fell into learning that new, you know, adventure. Finding because I was like, it's almost like journeying with somebody I didn't know. What I mean by that is when you're doing something and you're new to it, you're almost like you feel a stranger to yourself in its own right doing it. It is. Ironically, I don't even write. I don't even. I didn't. Was of course I wasn't a writer before. Naturally, I didn't really write in school or high school. I didn't even really read books, which is crazy. I had to maybe read a whole handful of books in my my life. I can maybe couple I've read. I'm not even an avid reader, which is interesting. But
That's really
yeah,
interesting.
it is. It's crazy that I came to to learn myself as a writer, and it is very cool how it kind of came to play. And I think that now I'm still uh as I completed writing the bake store, and I feel that it is my identity, and now as a writer has been you know
More
discovered.
established.
Yeah, for more or
So
less.
basically what you learned from the entire experience is that you really could do what you wanted to do. What
Absolutely.
you
Yeah,
thought,
that's true.
what you had always known that you could do, but you just didn't have that real confidence of it,
Right.
and now you do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I'm very excited
That's really
for
awesome.
that. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
this book is published.
Yeah. So
Eh,
therefore, you
what was
guys.
that experience like from beginning to end?
Well, there's a lot of different ways. That's a good question, because there's a lot of different ways to publish something, right? You have your old traditional ways to publish a book, either traditionally or through a major publisher or through independent. You can do it through independent uh, way. You can go independent on your own, or you can go through a traditional publisher. So if you want to decide, so of course, to find out which way is best for whoever's decided to write a book, or you got to figure out what ways, weigh out pros and cons for both, and to pursue what is best fits for you. So there's tools, tips, and resources on Latino.com. You can go in there for others who are also pursuing a journey of writing, and you can just go ahead and get some tips, which I highly recommend to do so. But you can go to Latino.com under or frequently asked questions. I recommend highly Joanna Penn at thecreativepen.com. She is there's a link there on our site there at Latino. She breaks it down, the difference between traditional publishing and independent, being an independent author. So I chose a way to go independent, of course, and that is that's the way I went, and it worked for me. But you can do the traditional way. It's up to you as well, but it does break down both ways. But of course, through Orna Ross, through Independent Alliance of Independent Authors, you can go to her site as well. She will also have some good tips and tools there for you if you want to on that. So yeah, but it's exciting. It's all there for you. Just research what's best for you. So I'm very excited to share this with you guys. Thank you again for taking your time to share it with my message with you guys, and listening in, because I really think you guys will really get something out of it. If anything, it's not really meant to push any certain objective or certain point of views, but if anything, just a basic, the core message behind it is all about just life and the value of each other's life that we share and we have today. So, but with that said, you guys check it out at online at Latino.com, or it's on a bunch of different platforms as well.
It is also on. It's on Barnes and Noble.
It's on BarnesandNobles.com. It's on a lot of different retailers as
and
well.
You could,
check
if you
out.
Prefer, like we have it electronically and as paperback. If you prefer to go paperback, you can go online.
Right.
Lytennial.com, order it from there.
Yeah.
You can walk into your Barnes and Noble store and ask them to order it for you as well. If you're not too keen or tech savvy on doing it yourself.
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly right. So, you guys, I know you're probably like, "Oh my God, what kind of a storyline will have all these kind of different, items and stuff in it, such as what I just described earlier." Just check it out. This book is not just a simple, basic, everyday kind of book, you can say. It has a lot in it. So if it has everything.
It's interesting.
Almost everything in it, I want to say. So I hope you would enjoy this journey, and check out the review at Latino.com. You can look at booklife.com as well. Check out the review for it, and
he has an official review on it too.
Yeah. So. Anyways, so thank you guys very much on that, and again, I'm excited for my next as well novel coming out too. So I'm in the middle of writing that one, and so hopefully you guys.
We won't be divulging any information on that.
Not until yet. That one, but that one's also going to be pretty awesome, and so I'm excited for that too.
It is in the works. We have a title, and he is working it up. As a matter of fact, after this recording, he's gonna go work on it while I get everything else set up. So, okay, well, how do we segue into this one?
So I know that's kind of how it kind of went there.
Speaking of being human, our book being human, and we are also human, we make some silly Billy mistakes.
And that's well, except me. I don't make mistakes, Emily. I don't know about you, but I'm mistake free.
Oh,
so. But yes.
But we as long as we learn from them, we can take that mistake and own up.
That's right. Everyone likes to point out when we make mistakes. We have made them, right? We like to be reminded of our mistakes. And just. We want to forget because we're only human, and that's what I want to portray here in Voice in the Wilderness. Is that we don't have to. Yeah, we want to forget them, but let's learn from it together, because what we've been through, somebody else is probably went through it too, and there's a way how to make it, a learning pivot of, to help each other to go. And be encouraged to know that, hey, it's okay. We're in it together. We can learn what this other person went through or in their experience through it, and share this to others. And it's going to help them to know, oh my gosh, I remember this. I heard this from somewhere before. But when we have mistakes, people like to throw. There's going to be. I get it, even the show is going to have a lot of people not really agreeing with what we're saying, or maybe not so good, whatever feelings or comments of they don't agree with how we view things. That's okay. Because everyone has their own views. Everyone makes mistakes, but we are not going to live or dwell on our mistakes. And I think that's very important to know that it's just part of it, because it does not define our future or who we are. I know that we make mistakes. We all make mistakes and have a past, and it's just a learning point. I mean, we're just going to go ahead and continue to press forward together through it all, and we're going to grow and learn from it. And I think that's very important to know. Wouldn't you agree, Em?
Absolutely. So what is, what's a mistake that you would like to talk about?
Yeah. So anyways, there's a mistake that I've made, and I'm not very proud of. I made a few of them. I'm raising 5 children. I'm sure you can know that there's a lot of stories in that in itself. But being a father of 5, I want to share real quick a story with one of my mistakes that I've made. Speaking of mistakes, is a little father mistake there, which I like to call here our daily blunder segment. So this is gonna be a little segment I like to throw in every now and then, guys, in our shows where we can just in saying all that to learn from these mistakes. And one of my mistakes is for all you adventurers out there that like to be out in the wilderness. Talk about the wilderness, be out in the not so this out of the city area, out in the sticks, if you will. We lived in the countryside, if you will, years ago, and my kids, were out playing, and there was a bee flying around. And one of my kids out there came and said, "Dad, there's a bee out there flying around. There's a couple of them or whatever." So I went out there. Of course, I didn't want no. I didn't want no. I didn't want no. Obviously, my kid to get stung. So I was. It's a wasp, actually, not a bee. My God, there's a difference in wasp and bee. Now that I think about it, but so I walked out there, and sure enough, there was a couple of wasps flying around. So I said, "Okay, step back." All my kids were out there playing, of course. My little one came out. Said, so my neighbor was over there. He's more versed in the country living. I'm a city boy, of course. I'm from California. San Diego. And so I don't know much about, the country living. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist for a wasp how to deal with it.
And when he says country, by this time he had already moved out here to Texas.
Yes.
Which is why he keeps saying country.
Right. The Texas, the countryside. Yeah.
Much of where we're at. We're in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're here in Texas. And so I should actually just make it a point to where it's when I came out here from on the way, I just saw roadkill on the side of the road, and I'm like, oh my God, mother, what is that? We're gonna coming out and roadkill on the side of the road, but this is the whole transition to Texas from the city versus the city. So with that said, so I went ahead and realized there was a threat. I'm gonna have no wasps steal my boys or my children, my girls. So naturally, as a father, instinct kicked in, and I said, all right, here I come to save the day. How should we handle this to my neighbor? I'm going to go ahead, and I realized they're flying above the ground here. And the neighbor said, okay, because this is probably a little bit of a wasp burrow there. I said, they have wasps on the ground? They can make a nest or a wasp on the ground? He said, yes. So the plan was to go ahead and let's go ahead and just take care of this burrow and get it out of there, right? So he went ahead and said, okay, here's a plan, and it sounded logical to me. You go ahead and lift. It was under a bush, I remember. So we're going to lift the bush up, right, or whatever these bushes were, and then I'm going to have the spray, and I'm going to spray and kill it, So I stood. He was going to lift up the bush from the backside. I was going to spray from the front. So when he lifted up on that, on 1, 2, 3, he lifted up on it, guys. I'm not kidding you. It was the absolute unbelievable. It was like a horror movie. Those few wasps flying above the ground, literally the second he lifted up, it turned into. I couldn't even see anything. Bzzz, like literally 1,000 black wasps flew up from the ground. Loud, I couldn't even see anything right to my face. Attacked like right at me. As I remember the neighbor, the country boy neighbor, said, "Hey," he goes, "Run!" And I'm telling you, instantly, I was like, "Oh my God!" My first instinct was my children, right? Oh my God! I grabbed my little one, and I was like, "Run, kids, run!" These wasps, as we were running, I was and I wasn't the greatest of shape, by the way. I was a little bit on the out of shape side. I just remember grabbing my little one in one arm, running, telling the other kids to run for their lives. I couldn't even get it out. I was just so the adrenaline was kicking in. My pants were falling down. And I remember one of my other kids said, Dad, I'm getting stung. And I was so it was unbelievable to me, for one, of course. I'm going to take that word back. But these wasps, I figure as you run for a little bit, they're going to stop chasing you, right? Well, these wasps did not. So they were like, oh my gosh, where do we go? We ran. I couldn't even breathe. I said, run in the house. Probably a bad move, but I did it. I ran the house with my little one in the bathroom. I was getting stung, mind you, the whole time. I couldn't even believe it. I was so out of breath. I couldn't even get it out. My little boy was just, Dad, I'm stung. He got stung like 3 or 4 times. I got stung I got stung. No, I'm sorry. I got stung like 3 or 4 times. My son got stung like 6 times.
Like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
I was just unbelievably. I couldn't even catch my breath. My little one was asking me, Dad, what do we do? I remember there was I went put my hand in my pocket. There was a bee in my pocket. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, oh my gosh.
How did he even get there?
I don't even know. A bee out of my pocket, but he had a bee out of my pocket. And so I was out of breath. I just couldn't even believe it. And my other son was in the house still. I yelled out there. I couldn't even yell. I was so tired. I almost passed out. But it was horrifying to say the least. And so let this be a lesson to all those fathers and parents out there, or who was anybody. If you don't have not even a father or parent at all, if you're out in anywhere, I guess it can happen in the city. If you see a few wasps hovering over a ground or anywhere, just know it's going to be more than a few. So please,
lesson
don't
learned.
lift it up and leave them alone.
Lesson learned for sure.
It was absolutely one of the blunders of blunders that I've made, but who would have saw that coming? I mean, come on, really? Who's going to see a Alfred Hitchcock movie, Attack of the Killer Wasps, coming out of nowhere? But anyways, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for sharing in that blunder with me. I'm embarrassed. Don't tell nobody. But
and next time I'll share one of mine, which I have actually never shared with Marcus.
Oh my god!
But it was a mistake I made when I first got into the financial business, and it was very embarrassing. So stay tuned for that one.
Stay tuned for that as well. Yes, I'm looking forward to that story, Emily. I can't believe I didn't hear that yet, but
it's so embarrassing. I'm willing to release it on this, but not tell you in private.
All right. Well, very good, guys. So listen, again, thank you for being being patient with us through this, our debut program here. I know it seemed a little bit like, introductions is obviously a little bit, it's a lot there, but we just want to throw it out.
We're getting into
the
flow.
Yeah, we're going to get our flow. We're going to get better.
Breaking the ice, and sometimes to get to the water, you have to break that ice, man.
You just got to get out there. That's right.
We can now go fishing.
Yeah, take the good.
Ice fishing.
Take the good and just block out the bad. So, and it's okay if you guys don't agree with everything we do. Our objective is not to stir any waves or upset or offend anybody. And so no matter what view.
Well, I think we did a pretty good job with not doing that.
Yeah, I think we did as well, and those who we did upset, we're sorry. But we love you nonetheless. And so we love everybody out there. Well, thank you guys so much again for sharing your day with us, your time.
Thank
you. We appreciate you guys and your spirit with us because we feel it. And we hope you join us again for the next week's episode as we talk about poop time warp. What? I know you guys think the wasp story is crazy, but poop time warp, stay tuned for that story and much more. You guys, it's not what you think.
Yeah,
but
we have to look forward to poop time warp, Emily's embarrassment.
Yes.
So, these are for sure to make you laugh or at least feel awkward.
Yeah, it will for sure. It's one of the two. But remember to check out, guys, like Tenniel.com and all its cool resources and content. It's going to grow and get better from here. We have our merchandise and our products on our store at like Tenniel.com, of course. On our store, go check it out, guys. There's much information there on the site there as well. A lot more to come. And I appreciate you guys again
and all of the websites will be in the description.
Yep.
That way it just makes it easier because I know I'm sure some of you are like, how do you spell Embaixador? How do you spell Lake
Yes. So are you
so that will all be put
it
out
is
on
all
the table
there,
for you, up for grabs when you're ready.
for sure. Yep, it's all there for you guys, and subscribe, of course, to our email list. I mean, we can keep up to date with all of our exciting upcoming content and products. But I think that's gonna do it on my end here. Emmy, you feel good? How you feel?
I'm feeling pretty good, yeah. And right now we don't have a set schedule. We do need to do that, so we'll eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna let you guys
here
know
in the near future.
We're gonna
get
shoot
a set
for
schedule. I just know right now there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. We had recently lost somebody, so we're going through that as well.
Yeah.
To try and get affairs settled. But once we get everything settled and everything is good, we will have a definite schedule for you.
Yep, we're gonna shoot for weekly, and so hopefully every week we'll be able to have a new show for you guys. So
yeah,
again, thank you guys again.
Thank you for your support and your time. And
yes,
I hope we were somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, we hope to talk to you guys soon. But remember, until next time, keep letting your Christ light shine, because together we are the voice in the wilderness. You all take care, guys. You have a wonderful time, and be safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon.